A prejudice blinds a person from being able to understand another person completely, because the two people don't share the same experiences. So stigma can many times be a very negative thing. In a patient's life, it could keep a patient from being treated fairly, objectively. There's stigma that even the providers would have. I think sometimes we call that countertransference. But there's social stigma, and there's things that become popular ideas of what a particular experience is all about, and sometimes these popular ideas are incorrect. So there could be a positive or negative experience with the stigma, but most often it's negative.
Like stereotype.
They're not educated enough to understand what a person's going through, so there's always stigma behind having a mental health disorder. I think it does. I think there's always stigma, and it kind of, we have to be, the people who work in the mental health field have to understand that we have to advocate for those people who have mental health disorders, and kind of educate others that, you know, there's always going to be stigma, but we kind of have to break down those barriers.
Since I work as a social worker on the weekends in the children's unit in the hospital, one child ran out of clothes, so they gave him extra clothes, and the extra clothes they gave him that was very dark. It was black t-shirts with pictures of demons on it. And the child didn't really think anything of it. He was kind of, he wasn't bothered by what was on the t-shirts. But I know that the staff was. The staff members were they all of a sudden started making assumptions about what kind of patient he was. A dark, oppositional, the bad kid because he likes to wear dark clothing with pictures of demons and heavy metal, and that stereotype didn't fit this child's personality at all. I had gotten to know this child before, and he was a very gentle and very fearful and very scared, very damaged child. And just looking at the way staff, psychiatrists, nurses, the mental health techs were treating him differently just based on what he was wearing, I think they allowed themselves, or they gave themselves license to have a very wide opinion about him because he is a mental health patient. Because he's a mental health patient, he's more vulnerable to opinions of others, more vulnerable to being judged negatively, more vulnerable to not being able to represent himself fully. And so even within the profession of mental health, I think that's, unless that professional is very self-aware of their own prejudices, it could be easily a place where even patients are mistreated by their own providers. Not very often, but often enough for it to be an issue.
Free clinics, people that have a criminal record, places where I go for job interviews, and right away they see the record. It's, oh no, you can't get hired here. Mostly, yeah, places like that work. Places of people that want to hire me, and then they see my record and they say, oh, no, you can't work here anymore. Whether they like my work or not, they just judge me on my past history.
Educating others and to understand what a mental health disorder is, and kind of approaching it in a way that, you know, we don't associate other perceptions with having a mental health issue. And I think just working as a community and working together to advocate for what a mental health disorder is. Improve by being more empathetic, you know, by providing, you know, all the resources that we can and being more respectful for the patient, and for them to realize that, you know, we're doing everything possible to help them out.
If people really listen to a person without judging.
Educating ourselves scientifically and also existentially. In other words, who are we and what are we about? What are our values and why are we doing this? Why are we helping people who are suffering? Are we doing it because we have suffered? Are we doing it because we think we can help? Are we doing it because we need a place in life to be proud of? And is it a mixture of all of those things? And becoming very self-aware, finding out what our values and what our prejudices are, will help us be even better clinicians and professionals.